What if one of the foundational myths of American expansion, the heroic stand at the Alamo, wasn't about freedom at all? What if, beneath the layers of legend and celluloid glory, it was fundamentally a story of financial fraud? A calculated, violent land grab by men who were not pioneers, but speculators, not patriots, but profiteers. This is not merely revisionism. It is, as laid bare in the incendiary book Forget the Alamo, a forensic examination of receipts. Welcome. Today on the Money Files, we re-audit the birth of Texas. Let us establish the initial ledger. Post-independence, Mexico, eager to develop its northern province of Tejas, issued an invitation. Settlers, predominantly from the southern United States, were granted generous tracts of land. In return, they had to agree to key conditions: become Mexican citizens, convert to Catholicism, and, critically, abide by Mexican law. And central to Mexican law, affirmed in its 1829 Constitution, was the abolition of slavery. The architect of this migration, Stephen F. Austin, understood the disconnect perfectly. He wrote, with chilling pragmatism, that the success of Texas depended on the property of the settlers, and that property was enslaved Africans. From the outset, there was a deliberate bad faith calculus: acquire the land and then find a way to circumvent the laws that governed it. When the Mexican government, first under President Vicente Guerrero and later under Anastasio Bustamante, moved to actually enforce its own anti-slavery laws, the Anglo-colonists did not frame it as a legal compliance issue. They framed it as tyranny. Their freedom under threat was, in the cold light of ledgers, the freedom to own other human beings. The core grievance was economic. Their labor model, and thus their projected wealth, was illegal. Even their early rebellions were cloaked in financial and legal sophistry. Resolutions claimed loyalty to the Mexican Constitution of 1824, which offered stronger states' rights. It was a clever, tactical fiction. The real, unstated goal was autonomy to manage their assets. The Alamo, then, was not a spontaneous cry for liberty. It was a predictable flashpoint in a rebellion over property rights. As Forget the Alamo meticulously documents, the famous defenders were far from plaster saints. Jim Bowie was a scheming land speculator and slave smuggler. Davy Crockett, evidence suggests, likely surrendered. The truth was messy, brutal, and morally ambiguous. It was, in short, bad for branding. So, the myth had to be manufactured. This is the book's masterstroke. It traces how groups like the Daughters of the Republic of Texas became custodians not just of a site, but of a narrative. They sanitized the Alamo into a simple parable of Anglo virtue against Mexican despotism, erasing the central role of slavery and the complicity of Tejano allies. Why? To create a usable past, a past that justified secession, westward expansion, and a social order built on racial hierarchy. The Alamo became the foundational PR campaign for Texas, and its product was a potent, marketable lie. The final profit from this heist was staggering. Texas secession led directly to the Mexican-American War, which resulted in the United States seizing not just Texas, but nearly all of the modern American Southwest. The financial windfall in land, resources, and geopolitical power is incalculable. The cost? It was borne by Mexico, dismembered and destabilized, by enslaved people whose bondage was prolonged, and by historical truth held hostage for generations. Forget the Alamo does not ask us to erase history. It demands we follow the money to be made from cotton, from land, and later from the myth itself. It recasts Mexico less as a cartoonish villain and more as a sovereign nation defrauded by bad faith actors who used its hospitality as a foothold for theft. In the ledger of history, the Texas Revolution appears less as a noble uprising and more as a hostile takeover, executed with a gun in one hand and a deed in the other. If you found this audit of the past valuable, please invest in our channel by subscribing. Share your thoughts on history's greatest heists in the comments. For the Money Files, I thank you for your prudent attention. Until next time.